Today I wanted to talk again about Renew Paradigm, the newly launched airdrop campaign from Manta network. The second one, they already had one, which was called New Paradigm. And I see big potential in this new one to get a decent ROI on your stake balance on the network. I, for example, already created one video about that once the campaign went live around 12 days ago. But today I want to go into more detail. I want to show you exactly which projects I'm currently using to farm for the Manta network airdrop, as well as for the ecosystem projects, which strategy I'm approaching here, and what do I think will happen, because most people are fading this, and I'm showing you exactly why. We can see that, for example, if we jump on DeFi Llama, that the TVL is going down now since around 2 to 3 weeks, at around the 8th of March, where we had 684 million US dollars in TVL on the network. And since then it declined steadily, and we are now sitting at roughly 520 million. And this will go down over the next few days, because you now have the option, if you were a staker in New Paradigm, to withdraw your assets one-to-one. So from tomorrow, the 26th of March, 2 p.m. UTC time, they give you the opportunity to withdraw all your assets from the network. And a lot of people will do this because they don't pay attention to what's currently going on. Because Manta is now distributing again 3 million Manta tokens for this Renew Paradigm campaign, and also 11 or all in all 12 projects will distribute a decent airdrop of their token supply. Even Stakestone will give out rewards, which is basically the company behind the wrapped assets which you get if you bridge over to this network. And to mention that here very quick, because it's recent news, they just received a funding from Binance Labs today on the 25th of March. And they announced that they will also give out campaign rewards and will distribute a share of 1% of their total supply to all people that are using this wrapped version of Ethereum. Then there are, of course, again, all these 11 other projects, which in my opinion, not all of them are interesting. Yes, they will all distribute a decent percentage of the overall supply in this Renew Paradigm campaign, but some are pretty diluted, and in some there are big whales farming for it. All these projects will offer NFTs if you have funds on them. For example, you can see this one is from Keom, this one is from Layer Bank, this one is from Aperture, and all the other ones have them as well. And you will get distributed those NFTs, and you can trade them as the campaign goes on, and those NFTs are available. And now we are still in this 30-day deposit period, which started at around the 12th of March. So we are roughly 2 weeks in. And after this, we will have a 39 days lock period. So you basically lock your funds all in all for 69 days. If you watch this video today, those are just 55 days to go. And I, for example, still have all of my assets here on this network. Also the Manta tokens I received from the first campaign and supplied them on different projects. And as I already mentioned, there are some which are interesting and some that are not that interesting. For example, the 3 big ones, the 3 lending platforms, ZeroLand, Truebill, and Layer Bank, are not interesting for me. There's a lot of capital, a lot of whales in those, and I'm personally not interested in them. That's why I look for Aperture, KiloX, and Keom. Those are my 3 preferred ones where I allocated most of my funds. Before we now get into that, I first want to show you how you can get started, bridge over your assets, that you can supply them on these platforms. So first, of course, you want to join the Renew Paradigm program. Therefore, you will land probably on this homepage. You just click on Renew Paradigm on the top left, and then you click on Join Early Access. Usually you have to type in an invite code, which you can get if you shoot me a DM on Twitter or Telegram. Please don't ask below this video for it, because I want to make sure that you really deposit into this, because those invite codes are limited and I just have some to give out to the people that are really interested in this and want to farm for this airdrop. So just shoot me a message on Twitter or Telegram and I will send you one over. Then once you typed in this invite code, you will also have to connect your Twitter account and connect your wallet. And once you did that, you will be led over to this dashboard where you can again see all the 11 ecosystem projects which are integrated in this campaign. And then of course you want to have some assets on the network that you can supply them to those projects. Those assets you can get by just clicking on Get Tokens. You can buy Manta tokens, for example, on centralized exchanges like Binance, KuCoin, or Bybit. Or you can, of course, also buy them on decentralized exchanges on the network. So the first thing I can recommend you to do is bridge over some Ethereum to the network. If you don't want to get the wrapped version of Ethereum, which is Stone, you just use, for example, Orbiter.finance, where you can bridge Ethereum from any other layer 2 or also layer 1 networks over to Manta. The gas fees here in this case are below 1 cent. You just have to pay the transaction fees from the bridge. So this is very cheap. And if you want to get the wrapped asset, you will have to use the official bridge. So for example, if we click on Stone, because you most likely want to get this asset because it also qualifies you for the Eigenlayer airdrop points. And those projects also give additional incentives if you use the wrapped version of Ethereum. Therefore, you have to bridge your ETH from the Ethereum network to the Manta Pacific network through the official bridge on here. Do that when the gas fees are the lowest, usually on weekends, or here in Germany, it's in the morning. So in the US, probably between 6 and 9 p.m. And in Asia, it is around lunchtime. Then if you have, for example, your assets staked, so your Manta token staked on Manta Atlantic, you can use the official bridge here. So we just come back on Manta, you go to the Manta Atlantic bridge and just bridge your Manta tokens over from the Manta Atlantic network here to the Manta Pacific network. And then you have your Manta tokens available and can supply them to those projects. And now once you have all the assets available on the network, we want to go and play with all the ecosystem projects. As I mentioned, I'm supplying my assets on Aperture, Keom, and KiloX because I think those have the most upside in terms of airdrop value and are not that diluted. So before you now stake something here on the dashboard, you want to stake manually on all these steps. So first thing would be you just come over to the first project, which is Keom. You connect your wallet, you make sure that you are on the Manta Pacific network. And then you have two options. You can go to the lending market and supply your assets over here. So they offer you to provide Manta, ETH, USDC, and USDT. Then you just click, if you have Manta tokens, you just click on the arrow down, click on supply. If you have, for example, 500 Manta tokens available, you want to approve them, confirm the transaction, and then they are already supplied. And then you can, for example, also borrow assets against it. If you want to now borrow, for example, a stable coin here, you can just come to USDT, click on borrow, then borrow the amount. For example, you want to borrow 250 here in this case, click on borrow, and that's already it. And you can see all your stats here on the top. So I, for example, supplied 539 US dollars in Manta token value and borrowed 264 US dollars against it. And then I also supplied, for example, my Stone, so the wrapped version of Ethereum. You have to do that on the isolated market. That's why we click on Stone up here. And then you do the same thing, basically. You just come to Stone, or if you want to supply the normal Ethereum, you can do that as well. Just click on the arrow down, click on supply, and do the same thing as we already did with, for example, our Manta tokens. Then you can again borrow assets against it. That's what I, for example, also did, because I want to supply those borrowed assets on another platform, which in this case would be KiloX. KiloX is a money market where you can also do trades, but I want to play this more passively. I don't have that much time. So I want to go for these KiloX vaults. Trading is up here. Just go to the trade section and can do leverage trading on here. And I, for example, do those earning vaults. I supplied some USDT on here, and you have also the option. So you can do that by just clicking on deposit and supply your USDT here on the platform, and you will get a wrapped version of your USDT. Or you can also go again to earn and click on the Eco Vault. And there you will be able to supply your Stone tokens, which we just, for example, borrowed on Keom. There you do the same thing. You click on deposit, you click on max, for example, submit it, and then your assets are supplied on here as well. And the last platform I wanted to mention here is Aperture Finance. Here I also supplied some funds in the yield farming. There you also want to just connect your wallet, make sure you are on Manta Pacific. Then you click on liquidity management, and then you can create new positions. I, for example, just supplied a stablecoin pair because I don't want to set any ranges or something. So I just took some Tether and some USDC here. In this case, I took the smallest range with the smallest here. And then I, for example, just supplied 100 USDT. Therefore, you have to have 111 USDC to pair it. You approve the assets, you supply them, and that's already it. And for all these actions on those three platforms, you also get wrapped tokens. And those wrapped tokens are important if we come back to the dashboard, because now, for example, if we go to Keom, you can see I have a staking value here of around $840. So I click on the arrow down, and there you can see, because I supplied Manta on Keom, I now got the wrapped version of Manta, which is called K-Manta. I could, for example, also choose now the Stone version, and there I also have a balance. And if I would like to stake it, I would just select max, stake it on here, confirm the transaction, and then I'm farming for those airdrops. There you can see additionally, users staking Keystone will earn extra stake stone points and eigenlayer points. And that's why I think it's so attractive to supply your assets on those platforms, because you hit multiple airdrops with one staking operation, which is very convenient and will hopefully give us a high airdrop ROI. You of course then want to do the same thing with all the other platforms you supplied assets to. For example, on Aperture, it will give you an NFT if you provided a liquidity position which you want to stake here. And on Kilo X, the same, you will get some Keystone tokens. I, for example, staked 0.15 Keystone here in this case, which will also give me Kilo X token rewards as well as those eigenlayer points and stake stone points. What you additionally might want to do is those Galaxy campaigns. Manta Network, for example, had a big Galaxy campaign which brought you a lot of tokens in their first airdrop campaign. Now they have no official campaign ongoing, just a partnership with BlastPay, which you might want to do. Then we also, for example, have a Galaxy campaign for Keom here in this case. We have one for Kilo X where you can do several tasks. And Aperture usually also has some quests over here which you can do. So just pay attention once they offer new quests to them, because it might boost your airdrop allocation. I hope now this gave you a good overview. As always, if you have any questions regarding anything, drop it below this video. If you need an invite code, shoot me a private message on Twitter or Telegram. And if you don't want to miss future updates on all of this, once the NFTs are tradable and your assets can be unstaked and everything around that, you might just want to subscribe to my channel, because I release daily content on such topics. If you liked today's one, hit the like button. That's it. Thanks for watching and see you in my next one.